Hello, Wayne Decker, Business Support Manager for Carrot Top Industries. I'm here today to speak about Veterans Day, and being a Marine Corps veteran, it's a very special holiday to me, and wish it was more special to all of Americans. Veterans Day represents the significance of the sacrifice that was made by every veteran, living and deceased, through the many wars and many years of America. America is a great country because of the freedom that we have today, and that freedom was earned and retained by our veterans and those that served within the military in any capacity. And from many parts of the world, they've come together as a U.S. soldier, U.S. Marine, airman, corpsman, sailor, and have represented this country very significantly through a great deal of sacrifice. The sacrifice that veterans made is not fully understood by most, and not well understood outside of the community of veterans. John 15:13 talks about no greater love than this, where a man will lay down his life for a friend. And a veteran made that sacrifice. When they raised their right hand and they swore to defend the country, they made a commitment that had a great deal of sacrifice, but they did not know the amount of sacrifice. For some, that meant the loss of their lives. For many, it meant giving up time with their families, time in very uncomfortable situations, but most of all, they did it for the love of this country and for the continued defense of our freedom. For the veteran community to recognize them, all they look for is a simple thank you. They are not looking for much more than that. And though there are many needs greater than that, the simple recognition that you appreciate the sacrifice and the commitment that they made to defend those great freedoms that we're all are allowed today. The holiday is a single day, but I would encourage each and every one of you to not limit it just to the Veterans Day parades, the Veteran Day holiday, all of the small celebrations that are done. Every time you see a vet, just put your hand out and thank them for the sacrifice that they made. The family members of the veterans as well deserve that thank you, for many of them sacrificed as much to hold the home together, to continue to take care of the children, and most of all, to write those letters of encouragement to their soldier and sailor, Marine, airmen that are in harm's way in places that many of us hope never to have to stand, but they chose to stand there to protect our freedom. So November 11th is the day that we'll celebrate it. And why November 11th, you might ask? I don't believe that the history is as well known as it should be. But November 11th was chosen, and Veterans Day first was recognized as a holiday as Armistice Day, which was the celebration of the end of World War I, at the time thought to be the Great War. But as we've seen in the years as recent as our current generation, that the wars continue to come and these great men and women stand up to defend our freedom and our nation. So Armistice Day was November 11th, after the end of World War I. The significance of November 11th, and you had a declaration of peace that was signed on November 11th. So you have the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. So there is a lot of significance to this particular day. And though I do recognize and am very appreciative of the day being recognized, I do ask that you realize that veterans live every day, not just that one day a year. Many of them have passed. We will celebrate in the coming year. We've just recently celebrated the 40th anniversary of the bombing of the building in Beirut, which was the largest casualties that the Marine Corps experienced since the landing on Iwo Jima. And then this coming summer, we'll celebrate the 80th anniversary of D-Day, another very monumental feat that was accomplished by our military in a very memorable time in our history. So remember, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, you are to give a little bit extra appreciation to those veterans. And again, all they're looking for is a handout that says thank you for the sacrifice that you made and for understanding the love that they have for their country, and they see the love that you have for them in that return. Thank you.